Hello, Aries. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aries is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. A Six of Swords. Aries, it feels like you've thought of everything, you know? It feels like you have a very clear plan of what you want in life and how to go about getting there, okay? This is your blueprint or your map or your sort of, you know, the map quest directions for your spiral road, okay? I think that you're very organized right now. I think that everything that you're doing in your life kind of has like the same intention behind it. You know, it may not be that everything is directly related to your goals, but I think that in some way there's no wasted time, right? There's no wasted effort. Everything is sort of pointing in the same direction for you. Now, you'll have to excuse my voice and my attire. We're all under the weather here. This is my sort of, I'm sick, I'm staying home clothes, okay? But I had to show up anyway, you know what I mean? The Six of Swords is a card of organization and a card of planning. So I feel like you're very organized right now. I feel like you're very, you want things to happen in a certain way, but I kind of feel like there's a subtlety here from Spirit, almost saying like there's something that you haven't looked at. There's something that maybe you've avoided or something that you're just, I don't know, almost like there's a secret or there's something that you're not looking at. There's something you're maybe avoiding, okay? We need to put this card into a little bit of context and see what's going on with you this week. We're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread. There we have a Prince of Swords, more air energy. We have a Three of Pentacles. We have a Death card. We have an Empress, very good. And we have a Knight of Pentacles, okay? We have an Ace of Swords, an Eight of Cups. We have a Queen of Wands and a Princess of Pentacles. So something is very much ready to be born into your life through your efforts, but I feel like there is something that you've been kind of avoiding. And I think with this Ace of Swords, as soon as you name it, it's going to lose its power and it's going to remove whatever blockage is on your path right now. Okay, I feel like you're trying to push ahead with something, knowing that something is with you that shouldn't be. Okay, kind of knowing that there's something that needs to be let go of. I think it's something that you started maybe to deal with or go through a type of transformation or a type of shedding of skin. But I feel like something was incomplete about that. Does that make sense for you? And it's that Death card that's back here, okay? I feel like your mind is really in this organizational mode. What maybe at one point in your life felt impossible is now really coming together, okay? But there's something that you need to face. There's some sort of, it looks like an emotional obstacle that needs to be faced, okay? And then once you face it, it shrinks. If you avoid it, it's going to sort of grow in its power. Okay, I think there is a door that's opening for you. I think that the way forward is going to be very clear. Okay, and I think there's going to be really a kind of a wave of relief, yeah, that's coming over things as you progress forward toward whatever your goals are. I feel like your Knight of Pentacles is looking into the distance at the Princess of Pentacles and wanting to see, when we get closer, wanting to see that become the Empress. Because this is up here at the top of the path of the dove. This is what you're hoping to find, okay? This is like, you know, this is your hope. This is your wish. This is the big giant here in the spread that this is the abundance, okay? This right now, as we're looking at it, it seems as if something isn't growing yet. Okay, so kind of it's telling me that something is preventing things from really like getting the kind of kickstart that they need. Yeah. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set this down right over here with tiny Bob Ross right on top. Now, we're not going to look at that happy little card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comment section below the video. Okay. Now, as we look around the room, we do see, first of all, I see a lot of court cards. So I feel like there are a lot of people around you, or a lot of people are being affected by what you're doing right now. And I almost wonder if there's some kind of a relationship with someone. I don't know, maybe they're a fire sign person. But there's a relationship right now that you're avoiding the truth about it. Okay? And I think that it's important that you face whatever this is. This is Saturn in Pisces. There's something blocking you from really feeling the happiness here. And I think it has to do with one of these court cards. Okay? And I think it has to do probably with an older male energy in your life. And also Spirit showing me a single white feather that's appearing on your path, or already did. But it was a single feather, or it will be soon. Look for that as a sign. Okay? Look for that as some sort of confirmation. As far as major arcana energies go, yes, of course, we have the Death card and we have the Empress. Something needs to be let go of in order for this, in order to sort of to fertilize the soil so that this can really grow. Because this is what you want to be over here. The Princess of Pentacles will at some point transform into the Empress card. Okay, all of the Pentacles will at some point. But to me, it feels like something in your life is really, some kind of abundance is really about to take form, really is about to show up for you. But there's something that you have to face, something that you have to let go of, something that you're trying to keep with you, but it's not supposed to be part of the plan. You know what I'm saying? So something needs to be released here with that Death card. And of course we have our Empress, a little bit of fire. We got a little bit of water. Okay. Then we have quite a bit of this air energy. Yeah. 1, 2, 3 air, and then we have the 1, 2, 3 in the earth. So it's your mind is in the right place, but your mind is sort of like defending something that your heart really knows is blocking the way forward. Does that make sense for you? Your position right now on the spiral road is the 6 of Swords. This is the Station card, represents where you are right now. It's a snapshot of your energy. And it feels like everything is going according to plan. It feels like everything's written out, everything is logical, everything makes sense. It feels that you're going in the right direction. And it feels as if you know the way forward. Okay? Whatever the goal is for you right now, it feels like there's a pretty decent map of how you're going to get there. But the battle card, card number 2, is the Prince of Swords. And sometimes the Prince of Swords, because it's a fixed air energy, can be too fixed, can be too rigid, trying to keep something in a particular formation, even when there's other evidence that's saying things need to be altered. What it needs to be is a more fluid mind. Okay, so immediately I'm thinking, you got to be willing to change the plan a little bit. You've got to be willing to be flexible with what you think is the path forward, or exactly the details, or let's say the step-by-step procedure. Okay? There's something that your heart knows that once you admit it is going to allow you to change the course, to alter the plans a little bit, to realize that maybe there is a detour that needs to be taken. Sometimes the 8 of Cups feels like a blockage. Okay, it feels like there's something emotionally, there's something in the way of you kind of following through with the plan. Okay, so a more fluid mind is going to be open to that realization, or admitting that, or acknowledging it, and kind of recognizing something that needs to be let go of so that the progress can still be made. And of course, the Knight of Pentacles in the future position is showing that, we're in a sense looking at the goals, and perhaps like realizing that there needs to be a little bit of a kind of a different route. Okay, so the challenge for you right now, that battle position, is going to be, whether or not your mind is going to adamantly resist what your heart is telling you, or if it is going to be flexible enough to allow that kind of information in. And I don't know if this is something to do with someone in your life isn't really on the same page as you, or somebody doesn't really have the same goals that you have anymore. Okay, and it may be, well, maybe at home, it may be at work, it may be at school, maybe a significant other, maybe a family member or a friend. But I kind of feel like you based your route on that person being with you, okay? Or that person, you and that person having that relationship that was solid and kind of how you expect it to be. But there's some kind of information there. There's some kind of a secret maybe that's being revealed, or there's a truth that you need to recognize. And that's, of course, what our Ace of Swords is that truth. Recognizing the truth is going to allow you to change the plan as you need to and get the heck out of there and get a move on, get up that mountain, get things rolling again. Yeah. So I feel like your path has been delayed. There's been something in your way now because of that relationship. And it may be that you are really trying to hold on to what you believe, but I feel like the evidence is kind of showing you that it's not what you think it is with that person. Either they don't feel the same way, or they don't have the same goal, or they have a different agenda, right? Something like that. Yeah. The Three of Pentacles under the surface is the soul position. This is what your soul knows. Okay? Your soul knows how to do this. Mars in Capricorn. Your soul knows how to climb the mountain. So maybe part of this realization is that you don't need this other person with you, that you can do this on your own even if you need to, even if you don't want to, right? So whether it's a friend, family member, or whatever it is, coworker, you're perfectly capable of climbing that mountain. You have what it takes. The blood, sweat, and tears of the Three of Pentacles, right? That's inside of you. So it's kind of a card that's saying, like, you can rely on yourself in this situation. You don't need them to be with you, to be by your side while you do this, or to, if it's your life plan or if it's some particular project you're working on. You have what it takes inside of you, okay? And this is that card of work. You know how to make it work. Yeah. In the background position, the chain, the link that binds you, okay? This is that karmic weight, and this is something that I think the truth is that this relationship, something that you thought was going to be part of the plan, that it has sort of expired, like this. And I don't know who this other person is. I don't know if it really is a person, but this other thing in your life, you realize that it hasn't belonged there for a while now, but there's been a reluctance to let it go. Yeah. And I think there's a particular fear here of letting that thing go, whether it's a relationship or whatever it might be, a belief or something. By facing that fear and letting it go, in a way is liberating you, but it also maybe is making you feel a little bit like isolated and a little bit like you're alone on this mountain now. Okay. But this is the chain that's binding you, that's holding you back from getting where you need to go and to kind of get things moving along faster. Okay. And so that death card, it's kind of like it's calling for courage. Yeah, it's calling for courage here, because this is something holding you back that needs to be in the rear view mirror. At the top, the giant, of course, the untapped power. And this is who you're becoming, right? You're becoming the one who is giving life to this path or this goal, whatever this is for you. You're the one that is putting in the blood, sweat, and tears, right? The Empress is giving, and giving to this plan, this path, this course of action for your life. And really doesn't need anyone else to support that. Okay, it is nice to have it, but right now Spirit is showing you that you have what it takes, that you can rely on yourself to get this momentum going. Okay, and this is, this is super abundance. Okay, this is somebody who is nurturing and protecting and giving life to something else. Okay, and this is who you are becoming. I think once you step into this truth, and once this kind of realization takes place, I think you're stepping into, it's really kind of like a leadership role. It's kind of like you're taking full responsibility for this path, and you're able to reap all the rewards from that, and not feel as if you're incapable of doing it on your own. Okay, I think that seems to be, the independence here seems to be a pretty strong message. Yeah. In the future position, the imago, right? This is who you're becoming. Okay, a Knight of Pentacles. It's a Capricorn energy. Okay, it's a devil card kind of energy, and you're someone that is, again, capable of climbing up this mountain. It may be that your plan is changing, but you have to be that adaptable Knight of Pentacles that can say, okay, the driving directions that I printed out now they don't really apply fully. There are other contingencies, there are other things, other variables on the mountain that you didn't plan for. And now you have to be fluid enough to adapt on the fly to the terrain. Okay? The Knight of Pentacles is always looking at the future, seeing the top of that mountain and thinking, that's where I want to go, how do I get there? So you can see who you are, where you are, and what you're doing down the road. Okay? And I think now you're kind of realizing that the directions, the path that you had already figured out isn't the same path anymore. That path now is changing in some ways. And it could be that you're looking at the summit of that mountain and you're thinking there is no plan anymore. The plan that you thought you had now, because of this realization with this, feels like another person. Because of that realization, now it's kind of like the whole plan is being thrown out the window. And now it's up to you to sort of improvise and trust that you'll come up with another plan as you're traveling. Does that make sense? So I think that there is, this is kind of a threshold. This is where you're about to set off on this journey, I think, in a new way. And it might be without this other person or other thing in your life to lean on, to rely on. Okay? It feels like something really needs to be admitted and let go of here. We're going to talk about the path of the serpent. The Ace of Swords is that truth. It is that realization. It's beyond the shadow of a doubt here. This is clarity, and it is your general energy. Okay? So I think that it's pretty certain that there's no like gray area here. I think what your mind is realizing, what your heart seems to already know, your mind is now realizing, and it seems like there's no doubt about it. Okay? And I think that this is the first step now toward you getting this momentum going again, because the Knight of Pentacles isn't moving right now. Looking up at the summit of the mountain, looking at the terrain, and perhaps thinking, I don't know that I can do this on my own. I don't know if I can do this now without the plan that I thought I had in place. Now that I realize that the driving directions are defunct, I don't know if I can still do this. The Eight of Cups in the environment here, this is something that it's kind of the shadow card, okay? And this is a Saturn in Pisces. So there's something that's been restricting your heart energy, okay? Something that's been kind of blocking that. And to me, it feels like this is the position of the relationships and the environment and all that stuff too. This is something that I think you were trying not to look at, okay? But now I think there's no denying that this is that kind of painful truth that you've been trying to make something feel a certain way, but it just won't do it, you know? So if it is a particular relationship, you really wanted it to be something other than what it is, okay? And I think that the realization that it is this relationship that's preventing you from making the progress in your life or the transformation or get to the goals that you're trying to get to, that is something that's been unnecessarily holding you back, okay? And I think that ultimately you haven't been happy in that situation for a long time, but I think that you've been trying to hold on to it or trying to figure out a way to make it work, or perhaps just trying to avoid that very difficult, admission. Yeah. In the next position, the Queen of Wands. Yeah. This is stature. This is confidence. Okay. This is somebody that realizes that the past has been kind of lingering. This situation that you're in, if it is a relationship, it's been you've been dragging it behind you for a long time. The difficult thing for you now is to just make a clean break. Okay. This Saturn energy that we have here, the death energy, kind of dragging you down and weighing you down, slowing you down drastically. The Queen, all of the Queens are about endings, right? About how we sort of, how we transition from looking at the past to looking at the future. And the Queen of Wands is like abrupt, it's like a Band-Aid that we just peel right off. And so to me, it seems like there is a need for you to make a decision and make it quickly and have it be a very clean decision and a clean break so that you can start moving forward in your life as soon as possible. See, the Queen of Cups, for instance, right, will linger in that ending, knows something has to end, but is very slow in like implementing it and really like making a decision and to complete the process of separation, okay? Whereas the Queen of Wands does it quickly, okay? Very easily able to turn from this connection with the past to easily just break it off and go forward. Okay, but this is in the position of the difficulty for you, and that seems to be the kind of the test or the challenge in your life right now is to notice that something needs to leave your life, but being reluctant to just it almost feels too harsh to just kind of cut it off immediately, right? And so it could be that we're lingering with this decision that we know needs to be made. So you're in a bit of a pickle, The Princess of Pentacles at the end here, that's the destiny that wants to happen. That's the shape of what's becoming. It's the page waiting to be written in the Codex. It is the transformation into the super abundant, Empress energy, the best life, the good life, the realization of your goals, okay? Right now, this is kind of looks like the dead of winter. It's something that's barren, it's sterile, there's no life here yet. And this is like, that life wants to grow, but something has been like, it's kind of like this Eight of Cups, this almost toxic water has been preventing the crops from growing. But once we get rid of that, then feels like all that verdant life is going to return. And the progress and the growth is going to happen. It wants to happen, it's ready to happen, but there's been something that's been heavy on top of that soil, preventing, the sort of crops from breaking through, yeah. So I want to look at the mystery card and see either some pure water or see another, maybe an Eight of Pentacles or maybe another Empress, right? If you have a prediction for this card, please put it in the comments. Let's take a look. The Star card, yeah. We have two references now to Aquarius. Maybe I'd watch the Aquarius reading if I were you. But I feel like Spirit is trying to give you the reassurance. Spirit's trying to give you hope and confidence and faith that, you're going to make it to the top of the mountain. This thing that's with you that you've been clinging to is not meant for you. And it needs to be released, okay? It needs to be faced. And maybe it's this fear of kind of climbing the mountain by yourself. That's the fear that maybe needs to be faced, and that fear will shrink, okay? Spirit's trying to instill in you some inspiration, some faith, some hope, some trust, yeah. That this is the right path for you, that you know where you're going, that your goal is the correct goal. It's just the route that you were going to take. Spirit's saying that's not the right route, or the traveling companion that you had on that route, And so I think this is a really a wonderful card because it is here to reassure us or to give us that confirmation. Look for that white feather, okay? And I think that you'll see Spirit is on your side, and Spirit is the companion that's with you when you realize that this other person isn't truly your support, okay? Maybe you thought that they were going to be with you the whole time, or that maybe you thought that they were very supportive of you and you're realizing now that they're not, but you're having a difficult time kind of coming to terms with that fact, okay? Spirit is with you even when no one else seems to be with you. Yeah. Now we're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner here. There's a link in the video description. New readings for Aries, Wednesdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.